Everybody's gonna have different what they think is game of the year, what wins what category. I do want to say this. This was a great year in gaming. So obviously, there are going to be some things that don't make the list. I saw Twitter going crazy, right? Twitter's going crazy. Final Fantasy 16 deserved it. Starfield deserved it. Hi-Fi Rush was great. Armored Core 6 was fantastic. The thing is, right? All of those games were great. But just because your game didn't get nominated for Game of the Year doesn't make the game less great. And putting down other games that got nominated because your game didn't get nominated is stupid. So we're going to talk about this. Has just been like a great year for video games. Very bad year for devs. I want to say that this was not a great year for devs. There was a lot of layoffs. Things were not great from the job standpoint. But in terms of actual gaming content, this was a fantastic year. It was really good. Most anticipated game. Let's start with this one. This is a good one. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Hades 2, Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth, Star Wars Outlaws, and Tekken 8. So, for me personally, I think it's Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. After that, surprisingly, it's not Tekken 8. For me, it would be Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and then it would be Hades 2. But for me, I think it's Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Playing through Final Fantasy VII, the remake was fantastic. I really, really like Final Fantasy VII. So seeing the spin on Rebirth and what they're actually going to do with the story and how they're actually going to expand to the open world, I think Rebirth is going to be a lot better than Remake. And I think a lot of the issues that people had with Remake are going to be fixed in Rebirth. This is a weird one. This is actually a pretty weird category, right? Super Mario Bros. Wonder, Street Fighter 6, Party Animals, Diablo 4, and Baldur's Gate 3. What's weird about this is, like, typically you'll see, like, Call of Duty, like, shooters. You typically see shooters here. There are no shooters, which is very shocking. But Baldur's Gate multiplayer experience is fantastic. I have to go with Baldur's Gate 3. Gods of Rock, Mortal Kombat 1, Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl, Pocket Bravery of Street Fighter 6. What is the big Mortal Kombat lover, Ed Boon Glazer, will ride or die for Ed Boon? The best fighting game this year is Street Fighter 6. I love Mortal Kombat 1. It feels like Mortal Kombat 1 should not have released this year. Not because of the competition, but because there's a lot of instances where you can kind of tell that Mortal Kombat 1 wasn't ready. It was not ready. I don't think NRS was ready to release Mortal Kombat 1, but I think WB was ready to release Mortal Kombat 1. I think WB really wanted Mortal Kombat 1 to come out before the end of the fiscal year, so they pushed NRS to release it before that. I think it's more likely that Mortal Kombat 1 was supposed to release next April or March. I think Mortal Kombat 1 was supposed to be an April, like a spring 2024 release. But I think I'll feel differently about this once Mortal Kombat 1 has more features. But as it stands right now, I mean, Street Fighter 6 is an amazing package. The multiplayer is very well thought out. I even like the hub mode in Street Fighter 6, which is strange because I thought I would hate it. I thought I would actually hate the hub mode world in Street Fighter 6. Capcom had fun with this game. I feel like they went from Street Fighter 5 to Street Fighter 6, and they were like, we're going to have fun doing this shit. And it seems like the people that made Street Fighter 6 was having fun. Just everything about this game just screams fun. It's like the most casual, friendly Street Fighter, in my opinion. It's just a great fighting game, like through and through. Everything about Street Fighter 6 is amazing. It is the best fight game this year, and argue with your mama. Starfield, Baldur's Gate 3, Final Fantasy 16, Lies of P, Sea of Stars. This is actually a pretty good list of games. I have not finished 2 of these games. I have not finished Final Fantasy 16 or Lies of P. Now, in this actually breaks my heart to do. This is a heartbreaker. This is actually a heartbreaker. I love Sea of Stars, y'all. It has been so long since I've played like a traditional RPG that I was like, wow, this is really fucking good. This game is super well made. It has amazing music. It plays well. The story is simple but effective. And if this was any other year, maybe, I would vote Sea of Stars. Baldur's Gate 3 is better. Baldur's Gate 3 is like the supreme overlord RPG. I don't know what else to say about Baldur. It's like the supreme lord RPG. Like is insane. If you've never played Baldur's Gate 3 or seen somebody, this game is fucking nuts. It's actually fucking insane. So I'm gonna vote Baldur's Gate 3 because I do think it is the best RPG, but I got a soft spot for Sea of Stars. I got a real big soft spot for it. But it's Baldur's Gate 3. So, it was a good one. It was a good one. Alan Wake 2, I still haven't played. I played Dead Space. Dead Space has great audio design. It's very creepy. I have not played Spider-Man. I have not played RE4. Isn't Hi-Fi Rush's entire gimmick like sound? Okay, everybody's saying Hi-Fi Rush. Okay, let's just go with Hi-Fi Rush, because isn't that the whole gimmick of the game that it's just like... Let me tell you what's criminal here. I hate this fucking list right here. Let me tell you about this list. Bro, Sea of Stars should have been here. And yes, I'm glazing Sea of Stars. Sea of Stars should have been here. That game looks amazing. And what? Like Mario Wonder and Tears of the Kingdom, like I actually do like the art direction of Mario Wonder, but Tears of the Kingdom, I'm like, yeah. I think on this list, I like how Hi-Fi Rush looks the most, so that's what I'm gonna vote for. Best narrative. I think this is Baldur's Gate 3. I mean, Baldur's Gate 3 is gonna sweep. Like, it's gonna win a lot of awards. First of all, let's talk about what's not on this list, right? The big things I saw people on Twitter talking about, mostly Microsoft fans. Microsoft fans are very upset. They're not happy that Starfield is not on this list. Starfield is not a bad game. I think Starfield is good. Some of the Twitter people feel like if Starfield was not on Xbox, that Starfield would be nominated. No, it's not true. Starfield, don't get me wrong, Starfield is a good game and I enjoyed my time with it. But I think Starfield is also very flawed. The startup to Starfield is very, very slow. It takes you a few hours to actually get into the thick of Starfield. Once you get into the thick of Starfield, it's great. Like, you're like, this is fun. Like, I'm enjoying it. But it takes a while for it to get there. And it's just like, for me, that's not as fun as a game where I can pick up. And the game that they were shitting on was Super Mario Wonder. The one game in this entire list that they said don't deserve here is Super Mario Wonder. I'm sorry to tell y'all, Super Mario Wonder is better than Starfield. It is, okay? The thing that Mario has on a lot of you, there's a reason Mario has been popular for so long. Mario is a game that you can just pick up and have fun. You can pick up Mario immediately. There's no like thinking. There, like people always try to bring up narrative, like, well, Mario doesn't have a story. It's the same thing every time, and it's just a 2D Mario. That's the point right there. Mario can be played by literally anybody. My mom isn't picking up Starfield. She's not picking that shit up, and she's not about to sit there for 6 hours and be like, I'm thugging, this is a great experience. But she can pick up Mario immediately and enjoy it. It's not too complicated, but at the same time, Nintendo finds new ways to make games fun. And Nintendo games have a lot of charm. A lot of games these days don't be having charm. And when I say that, like, when you're playing a game and you're like, this is very charming. A lot of games in this era don't have charm because they want to be edgy. Like, and that's fine. If that's the direction you want to go in, that's cool. But a lot of games in this era lack charm. Mario is always a charming fucking thing. And like I said, I think this is the best 2D Mario since World. I think it's personally better than World. I just think it does more than World. So does Mario Wonder deserve to be here? Yes. Just because Starfield isn't here doesn't mean that Mario doesn't deserve to be here. With all that being said, Baldur's Gate 3 is game of the year. I've never quite played a game like Baldur's Gate 3. And I'm typically not into games that look like Baldur's Gate 3. I tried Divinity Original Sin 2, I think is what it's called. And if I remember correctly, this studio also makes that game. And I enjoyed it, but I didn't love it. I thought it was cool. But this game is like, it's nuts. When I say this game is nuts, like the ability to play this game how you want to, I've never seen no shit like this. I've literally never seen a game like this. Like, if I decide that I just don't, if somebody asks me for help and it's like, okay, it seems like I need to do this to progress the story. No, the fuck I don't. I can take a completely different path and do something else. Or I can bribe somebody to get my way. I can just kill everybody. Fuck it. And the story still progresses. I like that. I've never seen a game that everybody's playthrough is so different. Me and my friends are playing this individually. I'm not gonna spoil it. Me and my friends are playing this individually, and just the decisions we make and the way we go about things, we're at the same point in the story, but different things are happening because of the decisions that we made earlier. Baldur's Gate 3 is not going to be a game for everybody. If you're a D&D fan, you obviously love this. But I think they did a great job of bringing in people who might not necessarily be the biggest D&D fans, that just like video games, and they made like an absolute banger. This game is amazing. It's one of the best games I've ever played. And in a year that is extremely stacked, I can't say that I expected Baldur's Gate 3 at the end of the year to be my game of the year. And that's crazy. Or at least the game of the year. Because this year is like insane. This is an insane fucking year filled with games. But Baldur's Gate 3 deserves it deserves game of the year. And I think it's gonna win it. Obviously this is a category filled with like bangers. Shout out to Sea of Stars, because I'm gonna ride or die for Sea of Stars, baby. I'm gonna ride or die for Sea of Stars, but as an actual game, like Baldur's Gate is nice. It's nice.